Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Hey everyone, good to be back. I have a lot of content and also shocking content that you might have not seen yet, and content that might change how you think about large language models. But there's a lot of things, we have to start with, like, are we really in a race to 0 clicks from search? Is AI overviews, our large language models, are they going to steal all the content? And aren't we have any more clicks in the future, coming to our websites, right? So let's start with the big questions first. Why we all like generative AI so much, Why was OpenAI or ChatGPT so successful in such a short amount of time? The reason is very simple, right? They're stealing our content, It's very simple, They crawl all the publisher websites, and they have now started to sue OpenAI or Google or Perplexity. And this is not like blaming like them, what they're doing. But I believe, and this is, I know, a bold claim, is one of the biggest thefts in the history of humankind. It's really happening like just in front of us. But as we know, we all like LLMs, we all like generative AI. We're not doing anything against it. We just use it. We use it to create content. We maybe use it to optimize our websites. We hopefully use it to automate lots of SEO things. But many of these publishers, they used to get a lot of traffic from search engines. They're now kind of, instead of suing Google or OpenAI, they're now starting to make lots of partnerships. And this maybe is the last chance they have to really monetize the content that they have. And you might have seen, Reddit made an exclusive deal with Google. Many other publishers, make content deals with OpenAI. And at one point, for publishers, the game is maybe over, right? Because you can only make once this big deal. And for all the other publishers, it might be too late. So this is just a list of some publishers that made deals. The Reddit one is maybe the most notable one. So the next question is then, what is the new content model? Are we selling our content that we produce now to all these large language models? Or are we using the content from these large language models to produce content, which basically will be used again to train the AI? So that's really the question. But if we look at the reality, and I think it's the same for many big UK publishers, is that for the past couple of years, the traffic for these publishers is really in a decline. And there might be many good reasons. You maybe remember the site reputation abuse update that Google did, right, just a few months ago, where Google said, okay, well, you use your authority and your reputation to, push coupons or push many other more affiliate content to a good position. So we will basically kind of derank your content. But if you look at the reality, there are lots of updates that happened, like core updates, helpful content updates, the site reputation abuse update. And this, for example, leads here for these 3 publishers in the end to make deals with, for example, OpenAI. But what is the consequence of these deals? One of the consequences is really something you experience basically every day. If we now do a search on basically every given term, it can be a head term, can be a long tail term, we see Reddit now ranking in very, very good positions, right? And it's interesting because Google is basically pushing us to think about EAT, EAT, your money, your life all the time, right? For us, it's really about how can we create good content, where we experience the content, where we have basically the expertise, where we have also gained the authority to really, write and talk about something. When Google is now, and up here, look at the first term. The first one is best password manager. The second one is healthy alternative to chocolate, right? So from my perspective, clear your money, your life, or EAT terms, and now you find Reddit communities on number 1. I spare you basically the results, but it's very interesting because you have random people, talking about their favorite password manager that might not be that secure, but Google is really loving this content, and this is something that's our new reality. But why are large language models, and I would count Google in this moment here, like within this area of large language models, why they love these content so much? It's not only Reddit, it's also Quora, Stack Overflow, all these more like user-generated sites or forums. Why do they love them so much? The reason is simple. Reddit, on one hand, is incredibly structured. It is moderated. You have subreddits, which means you can isolate basically like a certain topic, so it's very easy to crawl. You have upvotes and downvotes. So for training data, like having upvotes is amazing. You have comments. That means you see if there's engagement to a certain topic, and you have a even larger variety of like content for a given topic. And you have tags, right, which really helps to categorize the content. And this is really something why Reddit is so interesting, and they also now just started to have a partnership with OpenAI, not just with Google. Okay, so what does it mean for you? Do you need to be active on Reddit now? And the clear answer is yes. And I have one example. So this is one brand, Purple Pillows. It's a very popular like sleeping pillow. And what they have is they have their own subreddit, and they use this subreddit to address customer issues, to talk with their customers. And what is the result? If you now search for example, how often you replace your purple pillow and many other terms, like more like informational queries, the subreddit from Purple Pillow now appears often even before the purplepillow.com website themselves. So this is really something you should keep in mind. So if you really, want to make sure that your brand is being found, please take a look at what's happening on Reddit. If you don't have a community that's very active, maybe you start your own community and, try to be more visible on Reddit or on other UGC platforms. But the other big question is how will Google stay ahead of the competition when we all believe that maybe Search GPT or Perplexity is going to really eat the cake from Google? So I really think, Google is going to do one thing. If you look at some results, that's a study I made 2 years ago, 45% of clicks that happened or searches that happened only resulted in an organic click. Brent Fishkin repeated a study with Semrush data just a few months ago. He found that it has been reduced to 41%. It means searchers that made a search on Google, only 41% of searchers only clicked on an organic result and landed on a page. And if you really just continue this trend, you really see that Google is getting more and more traffic, to their own Google properties, while traffic to the open web is going to decline. In the short term, it's a good thing because the SEO real estate is becoming more expensive, right? So the work that we do as an SEO becomes even more valuable. But it's really something we have to think about, because I believe Google fucking doesn't care about organic clicks at all. They only care about their money, right? Shareholder value. That's the only thing they care about. And I will show you some examples why, So if you have a query, that's more informational, where you basically articulate that you need help, how to choose a vacuum cleaner for wooden floors, the only thing you see is okay, I see the query, I see here now filters, I see ads that are partially unrelated. There's nothing else. There is no AI overview. And the reason there is no AI overview is because it would distract from the ads. And when it distracts from the ads, Google makes less money. And this is the reason that if you look at the AI overview frequency, it is still very low. It is below 1% across the queries that we measure in Semrush. That's US data. But that's the point, in May when Google made its keynote, it was really celebrated as the new big thing. But it's not. It is just promotion, It's Google showing we do AI too, right? So, we invented all this stuff, But it's really just a distraction, because Google makes money with ads and not with AI overviews. So Google tries to own the user end to end. And what is the result? All roads lead to Google in the long term, right? But if Google is producing such a low quality of results and I'm searching for information for a product, I really need help. It definitely means I'm going to use Perplexity or SearchGPT or many other potential alternatives in the future. So let's take a look at what are potential ranking factors for LLMs. I still don't know what's the better term. Is it GAIO or LMO? So I really don't know. So let's see. But let's take a look at what are potential ranking factors, what we can take, and maybe get some more visibility or even more traffic coming from these new search engines now and in the future. So one thing you definitely can see very quickly is when you have a commercial query or when you have a query that's going into like a commercial intent, you very quickly see that all these LLMs, it doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT or if it's Perplexity, they really rely on just a few sources. They don't have this big variety that Google has. They have a very small set of like trusted pages. And if I do a very similar search here, like for the best vacuum cleaner in the UK, I used here a query that's basically forcing ChatGPT to use RAG, right? So it means they basically have a real-time query. They use typically Bing in the background to do the search. But you see here, it's just two sources. It's TechRadar and expert reviews. And if I look at the results here on TechRadar, it's basically exactly what ChatGPT is showing me. So for you as a brand, it really means if you want to be present, you really have to see, okay, what are the trusted sources for these LLMs? And then you have to collaborate or cooperate or like just have the best product that on these like trusted sources, these review pages and maybe other like trusted pages that you basically appear. Yeah, again, that's another query. I've had many more examples. I need to cut my deck short, but that was like, what is the best electric car for family with 3 kids of a budget of 50,000? And Google just give me some random, like stupid, like car manufacturer and other car pages, like absolute nuts. Okay, so that's why I believe, people will start using Perplexity and ChatGPT more often because of Google's low quality results here. The ads, I mean, right? Not organic. So let's take a look at some more ranking factors. You have to understand there are 2 different outputs. If I use ChatGPT and I get a result from the base model, there are typically no links. It's typically just an output summarized based on what the model has learned. You have to understand that the base model, like for example ChatGPT 4.0 or 4.1, they have a cutoff. For ChatGPT 4.0, the cutoff is October 2023. The model does not know anything that happened after October 2023. So if I search, here for like recommended project management software, I see there's Jira by Atlassian, there's Trello by Atlassian. So I see, okay, there's 2 times a software here from Atlassian. And why is this happening is because Atlassian has lots of mentions in social media. It's a very positive sentiment. They occur in pages like G2, Capterra and so on. So they have lots of mentions on these very attractive pages. And that's why they're like shown here in ChatGPT. If I force ChatGPT to make a RAG query, and Perplexity is using RAG all the time, it looks a little bit different. So here's now an example in Perplexity. It's very similar in ChatGPT, where I have a RAG output. RAG means it's basically using real-time data, but again, the amount of sources is very limited. I see here again, Atlassian number 1. If I do the same search in Google, I see Atlassian number 1. And this is already something I have to tell you. Perplexity, the results on Perplexity have a more than 70% overlap with the top 10 rankings in Google. So if you really do a good job in Google, you have a very high chance that you appear in Perplexity as well. It's a little bit different if you have like a RAG query in ChatGPT. That's a RAG result in ChatGPT, and you see the top results that they have is the same as in Bing. So there's a more than 70% overlap with like output in ChatGPT when you use RAG with Bing. Okay, so let's basically take a look at the last. Let's skip this one quick. The last one here. Anything that's more commercial, Perplexity and ChatGPT is really using like a limited source. This is here G2. and even now citing the sources. Here, for example, I was searching for what are the best CRM providers, and I see sources are only G2 and PC Mac. So that means if LLMs are used and you want to get traffic and you want to get exposure, it's not that a lot of things that you have to do. You have to do a good job with these review pages if you have a product, for example, and that very likely ensures that you have a high visibility within LLMs. So let's summarize it super quick. Check the queries, do searches in LLMs yourself, search for best and then product name, or like how to, and then certain like product queries, and see what are the sources that they use. Find these sources and see if your brand is already present. If not, try to establish a relationship with them. Try to improve your media presence. In LLMs, it's typically only results with a positive sentiment. If you have angry customers and you have mostly negative sentiment around your brand, most likely you're not going to appear for these searches. And lastly, monitor and improve, because RAG queries are very volatile. They change all the time, while the base model basically with this cutoff will output the same all the time. Keep this in mind. But now I'm going to shock you, okay? I found something that's shocking, and it's really something you have not seen yet. And it's going to change your perception. Perplexity has secretly started to use basically create a bias and have paid inclusion tactics, and they have secretly started to include affiliate links, not only to Amazon. That's just one example. I will show you more. So if you search for best gaming laptops, you have like a top list of gaming laptops, and then you see these product call-outs. Okay, so you see it is Acer Nitro 5, but what you don't see is it's an affiliate link. It's an affiliate link without saying it's a sponsored link. And this now triggers this question, is this result objective? Is this laptop really the best gaming laptop? Or is it only there because they have a relationship with Amazon? They can basically make money with each click. And I was digging in much deeper. So it triggered something in me because it reminded me of my old times, having this kind of like paid links within Yahoo. You remember these times, like in the mid of the 2000s, paid inclusion was really nice. I was searching for best luxury smartwatches. And I have here 5 results, and I've only seen for 2 results, I've seen this call out, And call out means you have basically this very nice visible kind of like display of the product image and basically a direct link where you can purchase product. And the second result here, the Mont Blanc Summit 3, there's no link at all, right? So I cannot even click on it. So what do I do? Do I copy the headline and go to Google now and search there? So what's the point? So I was confused. I was like, okay, interesting. So 2 products out of 5, they have a link here. And I was looking then at basically the parameters. They both obviously have a partnership with Perplexity. It seems Mont Blanc has none. So they don't get a link. Very interesting. So, and then I was like, okay, Perplexity always paints this picture in the media that they're objective, they have no ads, it's like all for the user, blah, 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 all these like bullshit, right? So I was really looking at like, okay, what's going on? And I made a couple hundred queries, and I found like interesting results. So this is one query where 5 callouts are present. They're all 5 affiliate links. And I was searching for best high-performance laptops here, and you see like the first 5 results, they have all these callouts. They look really nice, and it's cool, right? And there's no mention of Apple like laptops or Microsoft Surface laptops, and I use a MacBook. I think it's a pretty good laptop, honestly, right? It's pretty cool. It also has high performance. And then I was looking at the mentioned like sources from Perplexity. And they mentioned, for example, Engadget and TechRadar, right? I've mentioned before, TechRadar is a very credible source. They use it all the time. And when you look at Engadget, the laptop that won as the best laptop here for high-performance laptops is the Apple 30-inch MacBook Air M3. I'm like, okay, interesting. But it's not in the list from Perplexity. if you look at Tech Radar, the number one laptop here is the Microsoft Surface. It's not mentioned in the top 5 list. So I assume there's no partnership between Apple and Perplexity, and maybe Apple, Perplexity and Microsoft, so they don't get any feature. So this really, triggered me like, I really believe this is going to be a big challenge for all these LLMs, because if they want to make money, they will automatically need to have a bias towards the partners that basically pay them. So that means, do they really can have objective results? I don't think so. And now let me show you the last thing. So you see here this smartwatch, and you see this nice rating, right? 4.8 stars, 1,800 reviews. It really kind of triggers the demand for me as a user to click, because it's such a good rated watch. And it's from Garmin, right? So the link here goes to Garmin. But you know what? They've fucking stolen the star ratings from Google. It's not from Garmin's website, it's from Google. And this is what's going on, right? So they have ads without saying it's sponsored result. They're stealing content from Google. So I believe in the future, LLMs will have a very, very hard time to really stay objective and to generate clicks outside. And that's why I think we are in this golden cage business model. Google will own us. And that's why generally for you long-term, the key takeaways is what's good for SEO right now is most likely also good for LLMs in the future. Okay, so some bulletproof ranking factors that are already bulletproof for Google is being a good brand, good authority, having good user signals. This is very hard to fake. This will also be good for LLMs. And generally brand awareness is anyway crucial for all of us. And that's it. Thanks.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.